Thank you, Chris, for your time. Today, I'm honored to speak with you, founder from Unite for Safe Social Media. The organization has been doing incredible work advocating for safer and healthier online spaces for young people. And my first question for you, Chris, is what inspired you to take action on this issue, on this matter?
Really, Carson and Mason and Jerry and Sylvia and the stories I heard about young people losing their lives to the social media harms. It was those stories that just struck my heart. And actually, I was retired, and I knew nothing about this whole world of social media safety and the mental health crisis that our kids are facing, and then the lost lives. And I was at a conference where the Surgeon General and Tristan Harris, who did the movie The Social Dilemma, and Frances Haugen, the Facebook whistleblower, all in one 2-day period, sort of outlined the conditions. And it was the Surgeon General who said, in the absence of any kind of guidelines or guardrails for big tech, what it's going to take is an effort of parents to work together, to A, get informed, and then B, to collaborate, sharing sort of safe social media norms, using that old cliche, it takes a village, right? But you can't be the first, you can't be the only mom who's keeping their 14-year-old off TikTok. And that's not fair to your child, and it's not fair to you. But if you have the support from a larger group of parents, then in fact you can keep that healthy balance of on and off. What do I want to say? Healthy lives. And I thought that made a lot of sense. I remember Mothers Against Drunk Driving. You're too young to know about this, Saul, but in the absence of any legislation about alcohol and driving, moms and then parents just got together and in a grassroots way began to change the thinking about driving under the influence. And I think that's our goal, and that's everyone's goal, and the Surgeon General put it out there for me.
Yeah, and you're on a good path, Chris. I think you're doing an incredible work. Seriously.
Thank you so much. So are you. And parents need the assistance of your app and your product, because too often people push back and say, well, the parents have to spend more time with their kids. The parents have to be in that bedroom. It's just virtually impossible. Parents absolutely need to know, but they can't do the analysis, the check, the research that the CyberSafely AI or app does.
Yeah, it's a hard work for parents too. Yeah. And Chris, from your experience collaborating with advocacy-based organizations, what do you see as the biggest challenges kids and teens face on social media today?
Honestly, I think it's the same today as it was 13 years ago when the iPhone was developed and then Facebook came on, that in your pocket or your pocketbook, you have the most powerful supercomputer in the world. And at any age, that supercomputer is designed, because it is a business model, to keep you online as long as possible. And I think that is unfortunately the ongoing biggest challenge today.
Yeah, I think the same way as you. And how have you seen the conversation around digital well-being change in recent years? Are people more aware of the risks now?
Oh, I think absolutely. In fact, Saul, I think just in the last 2 years, there's been this tidal wave of knowledge and interest and caution, and actually action and engagement by families, by parents, by moms groups, who are now really savvy about the potential damages. I think it's been a game changer. And those groups combined with the work that we're all doing, we're going to change and keep digital safety at the forefront of the discussions and ensure that it comes to all our kids.
Exactly. And as we said before, people is more aware now than before, right?
Oh, for sure. So much more aware. Reading, Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation, from still in the top 10 listing of the New York Times bestsellers. People want to know, and they're raising their hand and say, let's go cautiously with our kids.
Yeah, I think. And Chris, many young people say social media can be both positive and harmful. In your view, what can we do to make online space safer, and more empowering for them?
And I agree. It is a marvelous place for creativity, for development, for fun, for learning. So I think, Saul, it has to start with age-appropriate content, and we need to follow what the Brits and others in the EU are talking about, is this kids design code, so that we require app developers to design for ages, so that a 7-year-old is not faced with pornographic information when he is searching information about the Amazon River. So it has to be age-appropriate content, and then we can continue to flourish in many more ways. But there are, I want to emphasize, there are some fabulous places to go in social media now that are in fact age-appropriate and interesting and inspirational to kids, and helping them become their real selves.
Exactly, Chris. And parents and educators play such an important role, right? In all of this. What are some simple steps they can take to support healthier digital habits?
I think just generally, this movement for digital literacy in schools needs to grow. It needs to move into more schools, and parents and educators need to understand it themselves right from the beginning. And now, Saul, with the onset of AI, parents and educators really have to understand the implications of AI. So we have AI now right in toys. 2-year-olds are communicating to AI apps in a toy.
That's incredible.
People understand that? Do people understand? Does a mom understand the quick way that AI app can build an emotional link with her 2-year-old? So I think parents and educators need to spend more time, in particular, about AI. And then the other thing I think is so important is that kids and teens, by the way, in a recent survey, said that they really prefer to go to their parents if they have a question, or if they're in some trouble on social media. But oftentimes that parent's not there, or the relationship is rocky, or they've just had a fight about curfew, right? And so to encourage parents, families to identify, and youth to know that they can go to someone who's trusted, to have some trusted adult in their life who, no matter how they've screwed up, can be a sounding board, can give them a hug, can do whatever the kid needs, just listen, or contact the police. But each family needs to be sure that they've got some go-to person who is there not to criticize, but to be a resource, a loving resource.
Yeah, to listen, not to judge.
Not to judge, yes, yes, because so many, unfortunately, the suicides we've had on many examples of suicide have occurred when kids are just too mortified to take the issue to their parents, and they think they can handle it, and they can't.
No, or because they are shy, or they don't know how to communicate that. They think their parents are going to get mad.
Right, 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 absolutely. Or they're in a bind, or they don't have the money. You know, financial sextortion is soaring, soaring. These kids are preyed upon for dollars in increasing numbers.
Yeah, and Unite for Safe social media brings together people from different areas, schools, families, nonprofits. What's been most effective in helping everyone work together toward real change?
Storytelling. I think storytelling. You know, I put out a lot of facts and figures. I know data, survey results, but I think the most important thing is to be able to share. Parents get together in small collaborative groups, share challenges in a non-judgmental area, and then for those brave parents, like many of my friends and who have lost their children, taking their stories to Capitol Hill, taking their stories to state capitals, and sharing the awful impact of many of these apps.
Yeah, sharing. I think it's, as you said, it's very important.
Yeah,
Those families
absolutely.
can share their experience, because then maybe you think, no, this happened only to me, and
yeah, there's no manual for parents. It's ever changing. Parents have said it's the hardest thing they've ever done in a survey that the CDC put out a couple of years ago. It's hard. No
it's
manual.
hard. It's very hard. Yeah. And Chris, looking ahead, what's your hope or vision for the future of social media when it comes to protecting kids and teens?
Specifically, the Kids Online Safety Bill, which has been pending in the U.S. Congress for 4 years, is the most aggressive child safety protection bill in the last 25 years. That needs to pass, because solve that solves part of the problem, a huge part of the problem we discussed earlier, which is content design. And so it says to the app developers, you have what they call a duty of care. You have a duty of care to design these platforms for that 7-year-old, without the rabbit hole, without the algorithms enticing them to stay on and on, without the constant push of pornographic or cyberbullying material. I think that is just so important. And then the second thing I believe in is Section 230. So Section 230, the Federal Trade Commission, was designed decades ago to encourage the growth of the internet by protecting these companies. So but that is all changed now. So this shield from liability that the platforms have under Section 230 must be repealed, because again, we're not going to change what's coming through that supercomputer in Juan's pocket until Section 230 says, look, there's a cost-benefit analysis to what you're putting out there.
Absolutely, Chris. And finally, what message would you like to share with young people themselves about using social media safely?
Be yourself. Go with your gut. Don't feel like you need to be someone different. A Pinterest board. Just be genuine. Keep your personal information to yourself. Remember that a lot of what's on social media is fake, is not true. And if you find that you're getting down into many hours on the device, and you don't like who you are when you get off the device, go out and touch grass, or hug a tree, or hug your mom or dad, and remember that.
Climb a tree.
Yeah, climb a tree, exactly. Remember that you're in control of everything you're doing there. So be on your guard and enjoy being yourself online.
Chris, wonderful words. I mean, I think you are amazing. Seriously. What you are doing, it's incredible. And as I told you before, like, if we collaborate with each other, I think we can change the future for our kids.
I think so too. And I really mean it. You know, I was talking to a mom who lost her daughter to fentanyl poisoning. And
Wow.
just this morning, she's a friend of mine. And she said, and she's working with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, you know, the Archwell Foundation. They're fabulous about this issue. And she said, it's just wrong to blame the parents for what's happened to our kids. We never dreamed or would have wished that when he thought he was getting a Percocet, he didn't even get fentanyl, they saw. It was totally fentanyl, but the color of Percocet with the inscription on it. What is no,
horrible.
She wasn't there, yeah. Nor should she have to be.
I know.
So, you know, what your company is doing is great.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, thank you so much. Yes,
very sad story, yeah. But thank you very much.